Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Shelly is live on Facebook and YouTube. I almost said Shelly loves to paint, which I do, but that's not what this is, right? So, this is live with Shelly James, and I am back on again with you guys tonight. Apologize for the delay from Saturday, but came back from our trip and we brought back a souvenir we didn't want, which was a really bad cold. So I am having ups and downs this week. I had some times when I could talk just fine, and then Saturday, that wasn't one of those days. So apologize for that. And thank you for coming on and being on with me tonight. If you're joining me, hi, Robin. Thank you for joining. I have a lozenge in my throat just to make sure I don't have any hiccups or coughs tonight. So, hi, Joy. Hi, Lee. I am feeling better. Thank you very much. My poor husband, though, he has a sinus infection, so he's having a rough go of it. He said to me today, "I'm tired of not feeling good," and yeah, it's no fun. So we've been avoiding people and church and our Bible study and all sorts of things, just kind of stuck in the house since we got home. So I'm happy to be on with all of you and get a chance to come on and say hello and at least get some writing back to me that's somebody besides just the two of us. So hello, Rachel. Hello, Linda. Thank you for joining. If you're out there watching, just give me a quick shout. Let me know you're there. One thing I want to ask you guys to do, if you are following me on my YouTube channel, would you please, when you're watching my videos, or even if you go back and watch them again, um, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, because YouTube really uses that information, especially in the first few days and weeks of a video dropping. They use that thumbs up criteria to determine how much more people they will share it with and put it in front of. And I'm grateful for all of you that are subscribers and followers, and I appreciate that. But you will help me grow if you can give me that thumbs up on the YouTube videos. So that's the shorts, the pre-recorded videos, and these lives too. So I appreciate all of you and your support, and helping me with that would be very much appreciated. So thank you. Hello, Lorene. Nice evening for a latte. You got it. And thanks a latte to all of you for being on. That was really sad. Sorry. So hello, Joanne and Jay Pretty. Hello. Yeah, hopefully this is the tail end of it, and that we'll start feeling a lot better. We've got some really good weather heading our way here in Florida. But please pray for the people that are in the path of this hurricane. We, thank goodness, and thank God, have been spared any hurricanes this season so far. But the countries of Jamaica and Cuba are in the direct path, and this hurricane is now a Category 5, and it is headed right for them. So it will pretty much engulf the entire island of Jamaica, and those people have no place to go. So pray for them, and when the storm clears, be prepared to help in any way you can, because they're really going to need it. It's going to be bad. So hello, Barbara. I always thumbs up, but I think many don't know how. Yeah, so if you don't know how on YouTube to give a thumbs up, when you're watching a video, right underneath the video screen, me showing, especially if you're on a device like a tablet or a phone or an iPad, there should be a thumbs up and thumbs down. Please don't give me a thumbs down. But if you would please, the thumbs up is right there and you just tap it. And if you leave me a comment, I would love to hear from you. I love comments. I love answering them, and they're very appreciative and appreciated. And if you have suggestions on any of those videos, I would really like to see those comments as well. So if you're on a TV, a lot of you project these lives onto your smart TVs. I think there's a way to do it there. Somebody said there was. I don't watch very often on my TV on my YouTube channel, but next time I do, I'll try and pay attention to that. So yes, it is sad. Denise, hello. Thank you. And hello, Barbara. So hello, Penny and Judy Pretty. Okay. Or Pretley. Thank you for joining. Hello, Sheila from Tennessee. All right, let's get started, guys. I'm sorry. I'm a little out of it and I'm not myself, so I'm a little slow going. While I was gone, I put up several videos, and so I hope you enjoyed watching those. We had the cornucopia one and the scarecrow. Think of what she was. Little scarecrow in the sunflower field that up there off my my left shoulder. And so those were my free lessons on Shelly Loves to Paint on my YouTube channel. So I hope you got a chance to watch those. If you didn't, please go give them a watch, and hopefully you'll give them a try too. A lot of you guys have been painting what I've been teaching and sharing it, and I thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. I love seeing everybody's designs and their takes on it. A couple of you are using these for lessons. I know, Lorene, you said you use the cornucopia to teach your students, so that's wonderful, and I'm so happy to hear that. I have no idea. That makes me so happy. So hello, Margareta. Anyway, so what's coming up, or what dropped today, if you didn't see, and I was so thrilled the way this bow turned out. But I did this really simple holly wreath today on Shelly Loves to Paint. And the glow on the bow, so easy, you guys. Give it a try. There's a pattern for the bow, because when I paint it in the lesson, I paint it freehand. I didn't use a pattern, but then I realized after I did it that y'all will probably want a pattern. So I created the pattern for it, and so the link is there. It's pinned to the top of the comments in the comments for this lesson on my YouTube channel. But go give this a try. This bow, you will be amazed at how quick and easy it is to get that pretty glare and make that bow just pop. I was so happy. So hope you guys will give that a try. Okay, so tomorrow and Thursday, we've got the Bucket of Cheer class coming up. So if you haven't signed up for that, it's not too late. You can still get into it. I'm using, I shared with everyone that's taking the class, and I'll just show it real quick. You guys are probably getting sick and tired of seeing this, but this is this is what we're doing tomorrow and Thursday. Okay, so we're doing this on a 16 by 20 oval canvas. This is a Convexo. This is bigger. Convexo by Fredericks, and so it's got a curved edge to it, but they're very expensive, and this one was gifted to me. So I found on Amazon a set of 6 for $35, and it's Prime, so if you're a Prime member, it's free. And so there are 2 of the 16 by 20 ovals. All right, so these are flat, hard, cornered edge ones, but it's got a 16 by 20, an 11 by 14, and an 8 by 10. And there's 2 of them each. So there's 6 total for $35. I thought that was really a great deal. So I'm going to be using the rest of these smaller sizes for future classes coming up in November. So if you already got your canvas, that's fine. But I just wanted to share with you that that's a really nice surface set to get. And I'm planning on using those. So their standard size is 11 by 14, 8 by 10. So you could use a rectangular canvas too for whatever the upcoming classes are going to be. But I plan on using those for the holidays, because like that oval shape is really nice and lends to that more formal kind of holiday look. So, all right. So what's coming up? We're coming into November. Oh my gosh, how fast did that go by? So I hope you guys are ready for Halloween this coming Friday. I hope you have a great Halloween. Love that holiday. It's a lot of fun. And so then coming up, we have in November for Shelly Loves to Paint, I'm going to be doing a series holiday cards. All right, so I did this for my live demos last year in November, and they did 4 holiday cards with accompanying envelopes. And so I'm going to be doing that again. There's 6x8 white cards is what I'm using. So if you want to follow along with me on Shelly Loves to Paint, giving you a little heads up that I'm going to be doing those themed cards on that free lesson, that weekly free lesson in November. Okay, there'll be a cardinal one. There's going to be one of a candle with some holly. There's going to be one with bells, and then one with a snowman. I always do a snowman. So that's what's coming up for the free lessons on my YouTube channel. And then the shorts are finishing up this week with the early Christmas fun designs. And then November's shorts are going to be holiday icons. So candy canes, ornament, snowman, and a Santa hat. Okay, so those are coming. Every Wednesday at 9 a.m. my shorts pop on my YouTube channel. I'm going to say that the right way from now on. All right. And then we have the live demos here going on every Saturday, other than today. So I'm working on what those are. But again, there'll be a snowman. There's going to be a Christmas cross with a wreath, which I thought was really pretty and very perfect for the season. I'm going to show you how to do another beautiful bow, different type of bow, and then a white Christmas tree, so holiday tree. So that's coming up between now, November 1st. This coming Saturday is the first one. That's going to be the primitive snowman. And then every Saturday, with the exception of the 15th, I will not be here because I will be in Tennessee with the Donna Dewberry workshop going on for that week. So there'll be no live on the 15th. And then we'll have the final 2 in November, and then we'll be in Thanksgiving. So at least American Thanksgiving. If you're Canadian, you're having that this week, I think. And happy Thanksgiving if you're from Canada. All right, so that's everything I wanted to share with all of you. It's great to be back. I had a wonderful time. If you didn't see, if you don't, a personal friend of mine on my Facebook page, I put all the pictures from our trip. We did a Viking cruise, Viking river cruise on the Rhine River in Europe for a week and a half from Switzerland to Amsterdam. And one of the highlights of the trip, other than all the cathedrals that we went through and the wonderful cruise, I highly recommend it. If you've ever considered doing it, do it. It's definitely worth it. It's definitely a value. It's a trip of a lifetime, and we loved it so much. We're going to do another one in 2 years. A little bit different one, and they've got lots to choose from. But one of the highlights was I went to the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam. And if you've never been there before, if you do go to Amsterdam, definitely make that a part of your trip. You see some amazing paintings, right? There's Rembrandt and Van Gogh and a lot of the other period Dutch painters from the Renaissance through the Impressionism, and just tons and tons of carvings and sculptures and jewels and metalwork and everything. It's absolutely gorgeous. So anyway, here we go. So let's get to tonight's demo. Tonight we are going to be doing a latte, a fall themed cup of coffee. Some people are triggered by that pumpkin spice latte thing. I personally love them, but I thought it would be kind of fun to show you how to get that whipped cream foam curl on top and just kind of get the colors of the season into the cup and the background and everything. So let's get started. We'll get overhead and get going. Judy, you said you're doing the Rhine, Amsterdam to Basel, so that's the opposite of the road trip that we did, or of the river trip that we did. So you're going to love that. That's the exact same cruise, just opposite direction. Okay, so here we have our fall latte design. I did this on just a 9 by 12 toned blue 80-pound multimedia paper just for my sample. But I'm going to do the actual design on, this is a 8 by 8 square canvas, just a canvas panel. And so that way I can do the background instead of having the paper background, and it won't curl on me quite so much because there's a lot of base coating and painting in this. So I'm going to go ahead and set this aside, and we will go over our colors. So for my wall color, I'm going to be using Skyline, which is that Skyline? No, Greenscape. So this is Greenscape, and this color is still available in the matte folk art line. It's not available anymore in multi-surface. I just happen to have some, but it's still available in the matte folk art line. Then we have Linen, Real Brown, which you can use burnt umber if you want. Real Brown's not quite as dark. Yellow Ochre, Coffee Latte, appropriate, and some Wicker White. And then I have some floating medium over here. Okay, so let's start with the background. I'm going to get my 3/4 flat and get that damp, laid on paper towel. And let's come pick up our background color. So this is the Greenscape. Love this color. It's like a slate blue green color. Get some medium, work that in. So we're going to put this on the wall in the background. All right, so I've got my pattern traced on, and you can take, you know what, if you would like this pattern right now, you can take a screenshot of this, and then you can enlarge it to, like I said, this is an 8 by 8 square. All right, and then you can print that, and then you'll have a pattern. And I'm just going to come around my foam here. And we're going to get just kind of a rustic, rough look on our background wall. And because my cup is going to be yellow, I'm just taking a little care to not overrun those edges, because yellow being transparent, you'll see that blue behind it, so not a big deal. There, okay. So that's our background wall, and you could do a sponge or slip slap or whatever you like to do. There, okay. All right, now for my table, I'm going to clean that color out, and we'll get some medium again. And I'm going to start with a linen base. All right, so we're going to come right up around the wall, and I can go right over some things like the cinnamon sticks here. No biggie if I go over those. And I can actually go over my leaf too. So I'm just going to avoid the saucer. All right, and we're going to get that on real quick, and then we can start adding some brown into that to get some shading back in here. I just want to get this all on all the way before I start adding the brown so that I can control the light and the dark. Okay. All right, so just a very thin coat of linen. And then while I have that color in my brush, I can come next to my real brown, and side load that, work it in really well, on 1/3 of my brush. So it's worked in very, very well. And so we're going to come right up against the back here, lay to the flat with pressure. And I kind of missed my, I'm avoiding my handle there, so all I got to do is just come in with a clean brush and I can take that back out. All right, so then just continuing on with some of this brown. And we can come in front of the saucer, under the leaf. We can come in back here. This is really wet, so it's easy to add this brown in and kind of work it in some spots. I don't want the entire table to be that color, but I just want some darker areas. All right, so we've got a little bit darker under the leaf right here. And under the cinnamon stick edge, we can go right up against that. And kind of give it a little bit of a slip slap while you're at it. Okay. All right, I think that's pretty good for a start. We'll add more when we get everything in place. All right, so the next thing I want to do is I want to base in my cream for my cup. So that gets a chance to kind of set and dry, because then we can do our shading. All right, so this is a 12 flat. I'm going to load this with a lot of wicker white. All right, and we can come right up here. And this canvas is already white, but we need this paint so that we can do our shading with the paint. So adding all this white to start. And then I'm going to side stroke on that same loaded brush some coffee latte. I want to work that in really well. All right, because this is just shading for the cream. I don't want it to be brown. Okay. All right, so the first thing I want to do is we're going to come right underneath the curl right here. And we're going to go up into it. Now, like I said, when this is dry, we'll do more shading, but this is the initial. All right, put a little bit up here. I'm going to come down now so you can see a little closer. All right, and so then each level of, oops, that's a little heavy. Each level of this cream here, we're going to come and shade and give it a little movement. All right, don't make it flat. All right, and then you can flip and go the opposite side. So you're creating kind of a line between the layers. All right, and then you're going to do a flip down here. Okay. Still keeping that. So the white is pretty much in the center with the shading on both sides. See? Okay. And then we'll finish with the bottom. And come around that curve. All right. So that's got to dry. And then we'll do a little more to it to boost it up a bit. All right. I'm going to go ahead and clean my brush. And then we can work on our cup while that's drying. Okay. So let's come back to the 3/4 flat. We're going to get yellow ochre. And let's get a little bit of white and work that in. Just so it's not quite so transparent. All right, so we're going to come from here and we'll come around. And from here and come back. Let's get a little more paint. All right, so following the curve of the cup underneath. White with the yellow ochre. And I think I need a little bit of medium, help that move. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to go right over. So the whole thing is going to be based in this ochre color. And that's blended with white. All right, and then I need a smaller brush to do the handle. So I'm just going to hold on to that. A little bit of white. This is an 8 flat. Now, like I said, I'm just base coating these colors right now because we're going to have the flips and turns in the handle here. And we need some other colors to help us with that. All right. So I'm just going to set that brush aside for a second. I just want to get that based in. Okay, so now with this colors on my 3/4 flat, I'm going to come next to my real brown on one side and work that in really well. Okay, and we can come from the bottom here and shade up. So this is shading or floating with paint, right? You can grab a little bit on the chisel and kind of curve that around about halfway. Keep side stroking that brown. And we're going to come along the bottom here on the chisel edge with the brown to the bottom. Bring that up around. All right, and then on our plate, the saucer, you want to reverse it so the brown's to the edge of the cup. And we're going to go around that. Okay. And then we'll come around this side a little bit, out to that outer edge, right before the lip. Back here, we'll do a little bit. All right. Now I'm going to wipe off that brown, wipe the brush off on paper towel. I'm going to come and get white with that yellow ochre. So quite a bit of white. And so from this side then, with the chisel edge of the brush, you're going to touch and pull. Touch and pull. So you're flattening it just slightly and pulling that highlight around the right side of the cup. Okay, into and in the center. Do a little bit more. I want that a little more pronounced. There we go. And then with that white on the chisel edge, you can come around the lip of the saucer on the chisel. No pressure, dragging that white behind, so you'll create that raised edge. There. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clean that brush. And then let's come back to this 8 flat. And I want to pick up some of this brown. It's already got the yellow ochre and white on it. So brown, and we're going to come on the inside. Let me rotate this a little so it makes it easier. Right here on the top inside of that handle. And we're going to stand it up into the curve as it disappears. See how that gives that handle dimension now? And come along with a little more of that brown through here. Okay, let's pick up a little bit of the yellow and come in on the foot of the saucer. Just wake up that just a little bit. Get a little bit of brown on it now. And set that foot. Okay. Now, I want to take the handle of my script liner and I'm going to dip into white and we're going to put the dots because those have to dry before we can do our final shading. So I'm going to dot, 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 right? Then we're going to come across, we'll dot there, we'll skip and dot there, line up to that one there, and one there. So you see the pattern I'm creating? Go here, there, 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 there. And you're following a curve while you're doing it. So those need to dry before, and I might have to get my fan out. We'll see. All right, so coming back to this 8 flat, I'm going to pick up a little bit of white, and we're going to come across the top of the handle here. Let's get a little bit side loaded, a little bit of that yellow ochre though. There we go. And then down here. And I might get a touch of coffee latte right there. There. What I don't want are those white line or those dark lines from my pattern showing. So let's cover those with some white. There. That's better. All right, now up inside my curl, I'm going to take this 8, I'm going to side load just a little bit of this brown, and we're going to come, we need this most dark right underneath that curl. Right, so right there. And then you kind of spray it out. And pick up a little bit of white and work that together. I think I have too much water in my brush because it's thinning my paint. All right, more white. And we'll put that curve right in there. And then we need a little bit of coffee latte on the inside of the curve right here. All right, so you got the peak white there and the lighter brown under it. There. The white is right there. Coming into it. And then the darkest brown behind it will help that to show. Now I want that. Let's get some coffee latte and come back in here. There. All right. Now we can go with white. And what you're going to do is you're just going to kind of fluff in with heavy white through the middle of these sections of the cream. Right through here and here. All right, and then if you need to, you can side stroke just a little bit of that coffee latte. And little short. And see how that makes it look more dimensional, like there's lifts and rises and peaks and valleys in that cream, along with the thick white. So that's looking yummy. Okay, so last few things we need to do to finish this up. We need to put, oh, you know what I forgot to put out was, I didn't forget, I wait until it's just needed. And that is the burnt sienna. Okay, so 8 flat burnt sienna. To start, we're going to base in our cinnamon. It's sitting underneath the lip of our saucer. Right, and then so that's curved. Okay, so that's all burnt sienna to start. And then what I like to do is, let's get, with that burnt sienna on my brush, let's side stroke a little of this brown. And we'll come right along here on the inside. Reverse it and come underneath the curves right there and right there. And we'll highlight those in just a minute. And then along the groove, right? And you're going to flip it and do the same thing. Okay. And then I touched a little bit of white on the chisel edge. And you're going to make little curved strokes every so often. So that this looks round. And don't do too many or it'll look like it's striped, okay? So, and to finish that off, I grab 2 script liner and we'll get a little bit of white with the brown. And if we need to, come around these curls here, here, and around the inside. All right, so that looks more like cinnamon. Okay. Let's see how our dots are still a little tacky, close to dry. So I'm just tapping them with my finger to get the wet and wipe that off. Okay, so what we can do now is let's do our leaf. So our leaf, 3/4 inch flat, we've got burnt sienna. And then we're going to come and side stroke some white with the burnt sienna and get a touch of yellow ochre with that white. So 3/4 inch flat. Okay. So what you want to do here is let's come around this edge, right? Get up next to the saucer, point and in, and then wiggle out to the tip. Right? A little more yellow. And let's reverse this. So we're going to come from this side. Let's come along the edge so we get right up against that saucer and then wiggle out to the tip and back in and then wiggle out to the point. Okay, so just a little fall leaf to add to the look. Pull the stem. Okay. All right, now final thing is some finishing touches with the shading. So I want to make sure I got all the water out of that brush. 3/4 flat, I'm going to load with the medium. And then I got to come in here and grab this because it's surrounded already. So I'm going to work in a side load of that real brown. Right, and this is what's going to make those dots look more like they're in shading. So you're going to shade along. Oops, some of them were still wet. That's okay. I'll just make that a part of it. All right, so you're going to shade along the bottom and the left side. And then this should be fairly dry, so you can shade over the cinnamon. Around our saucer. Behind our cup. Around the end of our cinnamon. Underneath. And then right in here between the leaf. Careful because that leaf is still wet. Okay. All right, now if that leaf was dry, I could shade over the top of that too, where the edge of the saucer might be covering that a little bit, but can't really do that right now without drying it. I think you get the idea. Okay. And then I can pick up some of that linen and with the brown and kind of work that in if I need to with the shading. Keep this light up here in the lower left. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to take my 1 or 2 script liner. Let's get some inky brown, real brown. We can come right in here. Oops. I think because that's still wet with the medium. And there we go. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? So toothbrush, right? Water, burnt sienna. One with the water, and then test it with your fingernail or palette knife. Okay, test it on your plate first. So I want to put some cinnamon sprinkles on my coffee, or yeah, my foam. And before it dries, I can get rid of anything that hit the wall since I didn't cover it. Or if it did and you're okay with that, that's fine. Little spots I don't mind, but the big ones don't look right on that wall. Okay, there we go. So let's come back a little. And there's our little fall latte. What do you think? It's kind of fun. Hope you give it a try. Take a quick shot of that if you need to. And there you go. Thanks, guys, for joining me for that demo. I'm going to come up now. Here we go. Hello. And we're going to go ahead and do our drawings for tonight, and then we will be done. And don't forget, I will be back on next Saturday. We're going into the Christmas season, so I'm going to be doing a snowman demo on Saturday, so be watching for that. And we'll be right here live again. Make sure I answer any questions. I didn't see any questions from you guys. You were just kind of watching, so I hope you enjoyed it. You jingle like jingle bells. You must have a bracelet on? No, I'm not sure what that was. Sorry if there was a jingling sound. My shading always looks like a single line. I guess I need more water in the brush. Do not put any water in your brush, Sue, when you're shading. There's no water. We use floating medium. And you want to make sure if it looks like it's a single line, you're not letting the paint come across the brush far enough. It needs to come from the edge all the way about halfway across the brush, fading from strong to nothing by halfway. Okay, so we don't put water in. Absolutely do not do that. And then make sure you have your paint going from the left, from one side to the middle. All right, is where it should fade away. And then make sure when you're doing the shading that you're applying the brush to the flat, right? Not up on the chisel. It has to have pressure. So y'all were hearing some sort of tinkling sound. I don't know what that was. I have no idea. So anyway, well, I hope you enjoyed that. Let's go ahead and do our drawing, and I will let you guys go. And I want to say thank you very much for spending your Monday night with me. I appreciate all of you being on. I'm going to go ahead and do the drawing on our YouTube side, and Robin Robertson is our winner. Congratulations, Robin. And on the Facebook side, I have Joy Paramore. All right, ladies. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to michellemybelledesigns.com under Learn to Paint and Downloadable Video Lessons. Choose any lesson video out there, $39 or less, and message me with your email so that I can send you the instructions on how to download that free video that you just won. So congratulations. Thank you so much for being on with me tonight, guys. I hope you enjoyed our little latte lesson, and I hope you give it a try. And make sure you come back and see me again on Saturday. I will be back at my normal time. I will have November class information to share with you. So my new classes for November. And for those of you that are joining me this week in the Bucket of Cheer 2 lessons, we'll see you all on Tuesday night. Okay. Thank you all so much. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.